Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to more OC Motivator, where today we're going to reveal a couple new cars, definite changes in our life, a lot of big things coming. If you follow me at OC Motivator, then you know. But today we're going to share the brand new, actually used, 2015 Lamborghini Huracan LP 610-4, 600, little over 600 horsepower, all-wheel drive, naturally aspirated V10. This is one of the most spectacular cars on the planet, and my dream car, the car I've always wanted, the car I've always needed, but finally was able to make happen. And yes, the yellow Gallardo's gone. And then, yes, if you follow me on the other channel, you know that my wife has a hot pink Defender, and now there's a white one in the driveway that looks exactly the same, but it's not, because that is a 2024. Because when I was picking this up and she was delivering the old exhaust from my old Lamborghini to the dealership, she threw a check engine light, misfire, and it said towed to the dealership immediately. And rather than leave it in the service department, she found that beautiful thing. And spectacularly, we negotiated a phenomenal deal on that Defender. So she's got her new car, and her lease was up in a couple months anyway. So for those of you who follow me on the other channel that will say, well, you said you were cutting back, this car is brand new, no miles. She needs a car to drive. She can't walk, she can't ride a skateboard, and we need an SUV for the family. So she got that thing, and that was about 85 grand, 86 grand. Same exact situation as the other car, so we really didn't change our bills at all. We just got her a new car. And why do we lease those? Because these are the most beautiful pieces of junk to ever exist on the planet Earth, and this one is likely not going to be any different because they break, and you want them under warranty. And as soon as the warranty is up at 50,000 miles, at about 49,900 miles, you want to immediately drop it off at the dealership and wish them the best with that gigantic paperweight, because it's going to break. We had two headlights go out on our last one. One headlight, 1 month, and that was $4,000 for that headlight. And then a month later, the other headlight went out. It was another $4,000. So imagine without a warranty, you would have an $8,000 episode to be able to get new headlights. And no, you can't find them used. You can't find them on eBay. And if you do, they're still ridiculously expensive. And they're probably defective, don't work, been broken. There's a reason they're for sale. So yeah, that's how much that costs. And then probably on this car, the headlights are cheaper than on that car. And this car, and I'm always transparent on my other channel, I'll be transparent here, put down a significant amount, almost half, which means this payment is probably equivalent to what somebody would pay for their Tesla Model S, right around $1,400 a month. So we've cut a lot of bills already just by making a couple very smooth strategic moves. But nonetheless, I had to pull this off. This is the dream car, and the cop car, that car is almost sold. I have one person working on getting their insurance and everything else, so that thing might be gone very, very soon, which is sad because I enjoy it. We're not going to have anywhere to park it once we move to our new place, because we're not going to carry all this drama over. Anyways, as I shared with you on the other channel, this channel is going to be about motivation, inspiration, information, day in the life stuff, all kinds of really hopefully valuable information that will help anyone who comes across this channel find more success in their life. Because my obligation, I believe, in my existence is to give back as much as I can, considering that I found some success that has, I believe, reached a balance that many others have not been able to find. So we're going to talk in the car as we drive to Cars and Coffee this morning about how to succeed at your job, at your career, whether it's your own business, whether you're wanting to start your own business, whatever it is you're trying to aspire to at your career, how to do it, the secret to do it from my position as an executive at a very large company overseeing about 3,000 people. I figure at the very least, you hear it from me, you might be able to go to work on Monday and push a little harder. I've got so many messages in my Instagram from people who are challenged and dealing with some stress in their life financially, and I figured if anybody comes across this channel, especially the small group that followed from OC Motivator, maybe, just maybe, I can help you achieve your dreams as well if you haven't already. So let's jump in this thing and go meet up with everybody on the road, get some B-roll maybe, some rolling shots, and then have a conversation.
Tell me what you want, what you want. Love me. Tell me what you want, what you want. Love me.
right, everybody. Cars and Coffee was a blast, and I didn't get to video much there at all. Didn't video anything there. I got to meet a lot of great people. But today I thought I would just vlog my first real sunny day with the Lamborghini Huracan, and I decided after Cars and Coffee to just go on a drive. Just a drive to get in my own head, and what better place to go than my original school, elementary school, and kindergarten when I was a child. This was where my mom dropped me off every single morning, and I was tiny, and that was kindergarten right there. And to bring the Huracan here, so what this does is it puts me back in the mindset of where I was so that I can be where I'm at and stay who I am, if that makes sense. So being able to come to the school I grew up in this beast, and know that a lot has happened since then with all my father's going through right now with Alzheimer's. And last night he wanted to go back home to Richvale Drive in Whittier. He says, I just take me home, and that's the home. I'll show you all in a minute, that direction, where he was an amazing father and we had a great family life. But now he doesn't remember where he's at, and he wants to go back here. So I thought I'd come back here and just do a cool little video with the Lambo and immerse myself in my childhood. So what's really cool is I remember getting dropped off in the van. My mom's, I think it was a red van right there. She'd pull up, and then you'd get out. First day of school, never forget it. Even though I was tiny, the fear, trepidation of walking through this huge, huge walkway to go into that classroom. And I remember the playground, which it appears has not changed a bit. The swing set's probably new, so was that giant thing over there. We didn't have that, but we had cool toys. There was a cop car, a ride-in cop car that I used to love. I thought I wanted to be a cop. And then after school, I'd come out here, and I would sit right here, away from my mom. Sit right here, because I was a loner then, and for the rest of my school career, I was a loner, for good reason. More about that later. But I would sit here waiting for her to come pick me up and see her come down the street. And this is exactly how I sat. Of course, I was a lot smaller then in many ways. And then I would jump up and run to her car. So to be able to walk out to this thing at this school, it's just wild. And that was the office. That was the nurse's office. You know, when you were sick, that's where we'd go. And then the giant auditorium, which it looks small now. Doesn't everything look way, way smaller now when we're grown-ups than when we were kids? The place was huge, huge. And none of this was here, but a little fencing and stuff. But this is where the action was. I think my head goes back there right now, folks. It's just crazy. So, all right, let's go check out my neighborhood. Let's drive the walk home. I mean, you're probably bored out of your mind, but for me, this is cool, and what the hell, I'm bringing you along with me. If you enjoy this stuff, stick around. If not, I promise the next video will be better. All right, that house right there was a guy named Frank. His name was Frank M. I won't say his last name. So he's probably still around, but he was a big kid. He was like 18 years old. 17, 18 years old, and probably when we were about 12 or 13, he would come and pick on us and mess with us and bully us. And finally, one day I had an idea to take a Vans shoebox, some D-cell batteries, and some tape, and some wire that I got off one of my dad's toolboxes, or tool buckets, and the red and black wire I wrapped around a pencil, coiled it up, hooked it up to an egg timer that I stole from the kitchen, stuck it in the box, and we left it on his doorstep to scare him, thinking it would be a great, way to get him back for all the bullying. Think some bombs on his doorstep and freak him out. We did not think this through. I certainly did not think this through because Frank called the cops. That was a different time back in the early 80s. But Frank called the cops, and they called the bomb squad, and all I know is there was about 27 police cars in front of my house, in front of his house, as they were trying to find out if they needed to detonate the device that we left on his doorstep. And the cops, I learned later, told my dad that he's going to, this is my trip home here, that he was going to, they were going to scare the hell out of us because we were underage anyways, but that it's the most impressive bomb, fake bomb they've ever seen in their life. And that, you know, don't ever do it again, because they had the bomb squad ready to detonate it. So we, of course, learned a huge lesson that day, and Frank never messed with us again. and I didn't see the daylight for a very, very long time, because I was on restriction. I think just it was maybe last week I finally got off restriction. Anyways, as I got older, this was the walk, and so these were the rich people. We saw these big houses. We were like, damn, why do they got bigger houses than us? These big houses. I think there's something to be said about growing up with the least amount of everyone around you that motivates you to want to hustle even more. And then you have the smaller homes, and of course this was really a nice little neighborhood back in the day. And then there was my friend Mario's house, and they put a second story on, and my parents went to war with them over that. Now I look back like, how stupid. And then that was it. That was my house right there, folks. 15573. There it is. How's it going? You guys live there?
Yeah,
I grew up in that house.
I grew up in this house.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've been here since I was 4.
I was there. I grew up there until went in the Air Force in '88.
Oh, sweet.
So you're young.
37.
Yeah, so we moved there when I was 4.
Those are your little signatures by the front door then.
No, I think that's even the people before that. My sister was Jill. I don't know if we did that. But no, I have pictures of my truck. That's awesome. You guys want to sell it?
Huh?
You guys want to sell it?
No.
Okay. Well, if you ever do, I stop by once in a while and film where I grew up, and I love that house. So
That's
awesome. Well, take care.
You too.
Yep. And there was no fence there. There was a giant palm tree in the middle of that yard, and there was a girl named Diana, I think one of the first girls I played, I'll show you mine if you show me yours, dance with, and then Sal and Mario over here, and this was my friend Pat there, and my childhood friend Frank there, who went a very different direction than I did, and this was the neighborhood. And then we went to the other side of the neighborhood where the enemies were, and we'd have the acorn fights. Every year it was clockwork, and it was epic, and it was insane. So this whole side of the neighborhood, they were the enemies, and it was World War III every single year with the acorns, which was entertaining as heck. Now looking back, we took it so seriously. It was insane, but now you just gotta laugh. Things have changed very little. I mean, the houses are the same. The neighborhood's still a nice little neighborhood. Nice Raptor. So that's a trip through my neighborhood, folks, and I would highly recommend that anytime you can go back and get in touch with your roots, remember where you came from, and not let the things get so much in your head that you stop being who you are, and continue to hustle, continue to work hard, which I absolutely will continue to do. A long ways to go, and a lot more to accomplish, a lot more to get, but it's just really neat to drive through. And someday I want to figure out how to buy my old house. I wanted to do it when my dad was still around, and my mom, who's hopefully will be here a very long time, she's healthy, but my dad, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to pull that off. I just asked those gals if they'd sell me the house. They said no, and I would have found the money, made it happen. But it's not for sale, so won't probably get it while he's still with us, or at least all the way with us. But nonetheless, it's still cool to come back and see the stuff. So with that, everybody, it's just a trip down memory lane. I wanted to touch a couple points before I finish here. I met a couple folks at Cars and Coffee today, and it was cool. I mean, one kid came up to me, couldn't be more than 22, 23 years old, and told me he watches the channel, and asked him, well, what kind of car do you drive? You have a Dodge? Because most of the time they have a Charger, a Challenger, something like that. He says, no, I drive a Lexus. I watch the channel for the inspirational, motivational, informational stuff that you share. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, wow. Like, that's why I do this. And my buddy looks at me and goes, that's got to make you feel good. And I'm like, you have no idea. The fact that I'm impacting that kid is awesome. And if I can keep him from signing up for some guru, university, motivational speaker guy selling courses online, and just inspire him for free on here to watch a couple ads here and there, then I'm doing some good in the world. And then as I'm leaving, two other young guys come up to me and tell me they're in college and they want to know what I did for a living. So I shared with them the story briefly, and they asked me what advice would I give them, knowing that they're coming out of college, and how could they be very successful. And I'll tell you what I told them. I told them to be very, very careful and be very, very selective with who they surround themselves with, who their friends are, who they put themselves in groups with, because the world will try to push you into the larger group, the more average people. And oftentimes they look like the cool people in school, they're the cool people at work, but they're not the people who are going places. They're the people that love traveling in packs and keeping everybody in the same place, on the same trajectory. So when you try to break loose from that group, they beat you up, they push you down, they tell you you can't do it, they give you all the reasons why you won't be the exception to the rule, and you are going to be average, and you need to accept that and stay in that role. And I will tell you right now, you're better off alone. I spent a lot of years with very few friends, and to this day, I have very few friends, because I find myself, the more I start hanging out with the wrong crew, or a crew that's not going anywhere, I start to realize that I'm going to slow my trajectory. So I hang out with weird people like me, strange people, people who are focused on the right things, people who are focused on their family, their friends, moving forward, accomplishing things, doing good, having ethics, having integrity. These people enhance my life. And anybody who doesn't, sometimes it's hard because they're a lot of fun to hang out with, but you've got to cut them out. You've got to push them away, and you've got to find a way to escape. Otherwise, you will fall into that trap of mediocrity and, frankly, being average. So with that, that's the advice I gave them. Start focusing on who you're around. And when somebody tells you can't do something, or starts to dissuade or give you the 10 reasons why something can't be done, run like the wind. Run like the wind. Be a loner if you have to. Find the right people. Never stand around at work complaining about the company, standing around at work complaining about the other people, complaining about the boss. Get away from all those people that do that stuff, because they will just hold you back. You will go nowhere in your career or your life if you're that person. It's okay to ask questions, okay to be critical sometimes, but it's not okay to be that person that's just sucked into a group who would complain about anything and everything if given the opportunity. So with that, please like, subscribe. I'm going to cruise around a little bit in my neighborhood. And, I always think like I'm going to run into one of the kids that they're all grown up that I knew from the old days. But nope, new kids running around the neighborhoods now. But it's surreal. So I'm going to immerse myself in this moment and enjoy it. I'm going to take a few pictures, send to my mom, share with Dad. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching the first video on more OC Motivator. And go check out my new videos on OC Motivator. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.